The most successful Transformers Haslab. The most successful Transformers Haslab. The most successful Transformers Haslab. Coming in at a whopping 28,230. All the naysayers talking all the mess. We have our toy to be made with almost 30,000 backers. This beat Unicron by more than double. Had a few more than Victory Saber, which Unicron had only 10,000. Victory Saber had 26, 2011, and Death Source 27,442. The only other most successful Haslab was not a Transformers, but it was Galactus, which came in at 30,811. The fans have spoken, man. Your naysayers that try to get people not to buy this thing, well, you lost out. Because the collectors know what they want. Now we're going to look at some Omega Prime releases, and then we're going to take it from there. Starting with the very first one, this is the original Super Fire Convoy, along with God Magnus, aka Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus, to form God Fire Convoy. Now we're going to show off the original release, as pretty much the American version and the Japanese versions of these figures were identical, with the exception that the American version got more tamples and a little bit less of the swirly plastic that they use. It's kind of more flat. Like, I know the Japanese version of Fire Convoy has that kind of like a robust, kind of deeper red, where if you get Optimus Prime from RID, he's more of a flat red. But it's not much difference. In fact, no differences. You really can go better with either. And I suggest you get an American set if you're trying to buy this secondhand right now. Excuse me, y'all. And I'm not editing that out. So yeah, this is best. It was the original. Next is the set that I went after as well. And this set would have set you back about $300 back in 2000. Now I got this set in an auction. I won it at about $280. And then when this thing became scarce, I flipped it and sold it for $400. I did not really play with this figure like I did. In fact, I kind of looked at it, and at the time I still had that mindset of how everybody else was speaking, how clear plastic. Oh my God, you should be careful with it. It does look like, because it's clear, in so much of it, it looks fragile, but it's not. And I wish I did play with it a little more, but I didn't. But it did serve its purpose when I sold it about 3 years later. But it's a good looking set. When you look at it in the package, it comes in, it's basically version 2 packaging, because second release Optimus Prime or Fire Convoy comes in robot mode with all the parts kind of like surrounding him in armor. They basically packaged it like that. Now on to a set that I wish I had gotten or could afford. Godfire, the suit is like the black version. Now this was listed, the Optimus Prime, as far as I know, was listed as a lucky draw. But I'm hearing that it wasn't. But as far as I know, it is kind of common, and you could have got it through a few contests. Now, TV Magazine made these contests up, which is a Japanese magazine, but the Black God Magnus is the rarest, and coming in at only 10 units of the Black God Magnus. So don't tell yourself that, oh, I saw this. If you did, you saw 1 of 10. Okay. And it basically was like a scratch card contest for the TV Magazine back in November of 2000. Back in the early 2000s, I used to see the black Super Fire Convoy going for about $1,000. And that's back in the year 2000. Now moving on to the next one. And this is the Sam's Club exclusive Optimus Prime, where he comes basically with yellow. The inner robot is yellow, and it's, it's got like the red and things like that. I'm swearing that thing was yellow. I gotta go back and look at a copy, but I don't have it. But I'm swearing there's something's weird about that there. But how do I feel about this set? Let me just put it this way: the colors are weird. Also, the God Magnus comes in a very dark navy blue, where the color should be blue. Those parts are now dark navy blue. It looks almost black, but they're not. It's just a slight tint of blue. And this set, that version of Magnus was also used with the second, with the Costco release that came out, and we'll show you that picture in 2006. That actually came out under this Cybertron banner. In this one, you got the original release of the Super, of course, the Optimus Prime, but you also got the Magnus from the Sam's Club. It's basically the same. And I didn't quite understand that, why we didn't get the original colors of Magnus and they just used this one. So I'm just thinking because more than likely this thing was out of production. I don't know. There's a lot back in those days dealing with how things were produced. But I never found it, man. And I remember I had a friend that had a Costco card, and we would go Costco at least once or twice a week, and we never saw the set. So some people said they did get it, but at that time I was living in Charleston, South Carolina, which, it's neither here nor there how toys get released, but I really wanted it because of the fact that the price that it was going for was around $60 to $70. At that time, it's not much more retail than the original back in 2001. Now, this is the last piece. This is the one that is the Encore set. This set was selling for $280. This is why I got on collectors who were against the Haslab version to let you know that you didn't say a word about the Encore version. Where were you when the Encore version released? Where were you when the news was out about this figure being so bad that Takara had to apologize and pull it from being sold? See, y'all don't know a lot of these collectors, man. I mean, I'm not going to talk about all y'all because I know some of y'all have great knowledge, but some of y'all be coming with that derpy news like you know what you're talking about, but you don't know what you're talking about. None of you complained when that thing came out at 280. Do you know how many of us was like 280? God dang, I might as well just go ahead and just hunt down the originals. I never even went for the set. I thought it was way out of price, even though we were getting the sword and everything. It was still out of price. The QC issues were terrible. And it was the last release, and it had to be pulled by Takara before we got the next release, which was the newer one with Haslab. Now, overall, I am in agreement with the set because just for a collector standpoint, you're shooting yourself in the foot if you didn't go for the newer one. If you like RID or Car Robots, then you should go for this set. It's a natural. The two main characters, and everybody, well, hey, said they wouldn't do this. They said it would be characters that wouldn't be made. Well, guess what? Every character they released was made in retail under Haslab for Transformers. Every single character. They may not have been released for retail in the US, but they were released in Japan. Unicron came out several times. Now, we didn't get that version, but we got Unicron several times. So I don't want to hear your noise. You sound like babies, okay? This is a corporation. They can do what they want. Either buy the toys or you don't. I'm glad it's back so we can show y'all and tell y'all to shut up. We don't need your thanks. We're good. Just sit back and watch the show. This is Super Robot Ed. Bring more news and reviews. Until then, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye. And I got my Haslab. Yes!